There we go.
Okay, we're on the record.
We are.
Good afternoon. This is the City of Port Orange. We're negotiating with our partners in PBA today. And so we're going to just be working on non-financial matters today. I understand is the agenda. So just quick introductions. I'm Michelle Oak, the HR Director for City of Port Orange.
Linda Tripp, Finance.
Todd Connery, HR.
Warren Corman, POPD Lieutenants.
Greg Forehand, PBA.
Melissa Hicks, Finance.
Sigrid Gold, Finance. Thank you very much. So can we agree that's today's agendas to kind of continue to work on our non-financials, or are you guys going to present any financial proposals?
We are not going to present a financial proposal. We'll work on
Alright.
non-financials.
Excellent. All right, so do you have any special items right off the bat, or shall we just start page by page and go through?
It's just easy to go page by page, and I'll call them out as we get there.
All right, lovely. Okay. So let's start on page 4. You know, I think there's no changes there.
Correct?
Oh,
No
I feel like
changes?
that's such a success. One down.
Yeah. Article 1, recognition, no changes for us.
None for us.
Article 2, management rights, no changes on page 6. And on page 7, item N, I have flagged because I believe that's repeated in 28.1, and I was proposing that we change the review period from 30 days to 7 because that's consistent with our other union agreements.
Yeah,
You
I
wanna
thought-
get your thoughts on that?
I thought we retorted
Did we
with
say
15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right, good.
And then I'll wait till we get to 28, but
Mhm.
looking at it, once we remove that from, I don't know why 28's even there.
Yeah, I think, page
I should have saved it.
You want it here and not 28?
Well, I don't know that we
Not
need
here,
any
the
of
other way
28.
around.
Yeah,
I think Greg agreed that there's no reason to repeat it in
So
28.
take it out of
Okay.
28.
So we could
So
take
we-
it out of 28, and then once we
Strike
pull
it?
that,
Yep,
is
Change it.
the rest of 28 even worth having in there? I guess is my question. 'Cause,
yeah, I don't see where it's useful.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're looking at 28?
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is, instead of totally deleting it, just put reserved, so if we ever have anything
Okay.
else,
We have a
and
28.
you don't have to fix everything else after.
Okay, I like that.
We pulled
Can
something,
agree
didn't
to
we?
that,
We
Yep.
figured
Okay.
out that was why we did it in one of the.
Yeah, I don't see
My
anything in
personal
28
opinion.
Mhm.
that really needs to be its own article.
Yeah, totally agree. That's a great, yep, good. And so, and then we're agreeing on item N
At
for
15.
Article 2, that would be 15-day review period.
Yes,
Are we
ma'am.
talking business, is
You're
that
good with that.
business days or calendar days, or what has that been in the past? Or
I
what
think
do you
in the
prefer?
past it's been business
I
days.
think it needs to be too. It's not clear, of course, but, so we will make it clear.
Yeah,
All right, good.
I don't have those.
Okay. And just to beat the thing to death, by business days, we're talking Monday through
Monday,
Friday?
Monday through Friday
Yeah,
excluding
so,
holidays.
You know,
Yes,
traditional
yes,
business days. Okay, good.
yes.
Okay, Article 2, 2.7. So this was the thing that we're struggling with a little bit. Remember we started talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
This is regarding emergency stuff, right? So one of the things, Greg, that we had concern about is when we provide the additional emergency pay, we feel like this is, you know, that sometimes we can get reimbursement in FEMA, sometimes and what we try to do is not tie that to pensionable earnings in any way as an extra thing standing outside the contract.
And it's
Here.
administratively a nightmare because you have to
Yes.
separate the straight time and overtime portions to determine pensionability
Yeah.
in a lot of cases, because a lot of the unions don't have overtime or have overtime limitations that are pensionable, so you have to separate those portions of it, so it just becomes crazy for us.
To make sure, I mean, what this article means to me, and I see it everywhere, is you guys can suspend the entire contract essentially to do what you gotta do in a time of emergency. And the only reason that I usually see this provision in here is saying, yeah, but, you know, you can make them work, you know, 80 hours straight, you can make them cancel their vacation, but you still gotta pay them. How you pay them, I don't think this really.
Correct. I think
deals
this
with
will be
that.
better addressed in the emergency pay article.
Yes,
I think
but
all this is doing is referring to the pay articles later in the
I
contract.
agree with that part, except for the last sentence that says, except for the economic provisions,
Correct.
right? So that suggests that the economic provisions of the contract, rather than that policy, are taking precedence. That's where I'm struggling.
They are. That's what this is saying, is you can do
Yeah.
anything you want to us,
Uh-huh.
except change the pay part. That's
So-
what this is saying. You can do whatever you want with us
Yeah.
during a storm, but you still gotta hold up to the pay parts of the
Of
contract.
the contract.
Yes.
But when we pull out that separate policy for that additional emergency pay,
Right?
is that separate from this?
It's not, no. It is an economic provision of the contract.
Yeah.
So if you want to make those changes, the proper place to make them is in the emergency pay
Yeah.
section, article.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
saying yay or nay to that change you're
Right.
Oh,
proposing.
you mean the emergency pay section somewhere back down
Yeah.
in
In,
the stack
correct,
of paper?
in the contract,
Not in,
correct.
I thought you meant the city policy,
No.
not the.
So say that
somewhere
again,
back
'cause
here.
I didn't
Okay, so
comprehend
in
that.
our contract,
Yeah.
there is an article about emergency pay.
Yes, I have.
That will
flag.
stay in effect during an emergency. So if you want to make changes to the way you're paying that out, which I think very clearly the city does, that's where we need to negotiate that,
Not here.
You
not
don't need to
here.
change
Gotcha.
this one, we
Okay,
need to
so
change
this
some
one's
of
Correct.
the
okay.
number
Yep.
back there.
All right,
You need
gotcha.
to ask to change something, right?
Okay. I'm slow, but I got it.
You got it,
I
okay.
wasn't getting that at first either.
Okay,
All right, so this is not the article that would impact that. This is
Correct.
merely saying the economic provisions remain
Somewhere
else.
during these emergency situations.
Correct, that's all that's
Gotcha.
saying.
I got it, okay.
agreed?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
Okay, good. Article 3, I don't have any issues there.
Nope,
Article 4 is a reserve. Keep that there, or,
you
yeah?
want to keep it?
Yeah, to me, it's always easier to leave some reserved ones in there
Yeah,
in case something
in
else.
case something
Okay.
else comes up. Yep, like lottery winnings for every employee.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Article 5, dues deduction, I have no issues there, nor in Article 6, personnel records. Article 7, I had a question on 7.1. The question was, what about the ones hired from within? So, let me see if I can remember my unclear thought there.
So,
Yeah, I gotta look at it again here.
The first sentence says, it's discussing one from outside, but it doesn't say if you
Yeah,
come
so-
from within, which is more likely what's gonna happen.
What's gonna
anyway.
happen, yeah. So this 7.1 only refers to it in that first sentence to that outside situation, but is it the same if they're hired from within?
Well, it doesn't say that it is.
It doesn't. That's what my
However,
concern
we have
is.
historically treated it as they are on probation for that first year. In
We
fact,
have not?
we have.
We have.
And in fact, we have a separate pay level for a
Right.
probationary
That's
lieutenant.
why it flagged my mind, because it doesn't address it.
Yeah.
The contract's silent on that matter.
Yeah, now.
So should this pertain to both?
Are you guys ever, I don't think you guys have ever hired a lieutenant from outside.
From out, so we haven't, but we do need to have,
It
I
doesn't
think.
address what you do if you
Right,
hire
it doesn't,
inside.
what the problem is this doesn't address what we do when we promote from within.
Right.
And that, you know, does, I guess my question is, does the city desire to have a probationary lieutenant who was promoted from within? Because that would be, there's no sense in changing it if we're not gonna have
Right.
one.
Well, the way I understand how we have traditionally done it is we've found the best candidates from within, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if that's the case, do they, and you were saying they do go into a probationary status that first
we have traditionally treated it that way.
Okay.
And I can't say I have an issue with that moving forward.
Uh-huh.
But there's no sense in changing this if the city doesn't desire to have probationary lieutenants. If they're good with them being a full
Do
lieutenant
they have
at
a
the time,
separate rate in
they do,
probation?
they have a
already
separate
do,
rate.
yeah. So the question is, do we merely just change it from if a lieutenant is hired? Or,
When a lieutenant is
yeah, or
hired.
when a lieutenant is hired, either inside or outside,
Hired or promoted.
or
yeah.
promoted?
Yeah. And then you'd go to the social security number if
Yeah,
you
I
were
think,
promoted or hired on the same day.
yeah, I think you could just strike hired from the outside,
Okay,
and you, if a lieutenant is hired slash promoted,
okay,
if you cross out from outside the department, then it would
Mhm.
apply to both.
okay.
Everybody agree?
Yep, I think that would be a good change, yeah, because, you know, the time we don't clarify it is the time the
Hired
question
or
comes up, right?
promoted, right. But again,
Fourth line from the bottom too.
fourth line from the
See,
bottom.
employee is hired slash promoted on the same day.
Oh, uh-huh. Ooh, good
Oh, yeah.
catch, yeah. Does the rest of it make sense? He or she should be classified.
That's sweet. He or she shall classify as person employee.
And then the smarter thing is to have the chief
Although,
hire or promote on different days,
here-
so it never comes up.
here we do have
Yeah.
an issue though,
Mm-hmm,
because I have an issue with the layoff part. Because they've been here for
well,
some time, right? And the
Yeah.
contract does address, if we have a reduction in force or whatever, that they
Mhm.
roll back to a sergeant position. So I don't want a guy who's been here 10 years, promotes to lieutenant, and now is subject to
Mhm.
layoff. Like that's, we have to be careful with that.
so I wondered if it needed to be like two different things, because are we gonna take a guy that's worked here 15 years, he gets promoted to a lieutenant, and during the probationary period, it's not his superpower.
Right,
Are we gonna discharge him, or are we gonna roll him back to where he was?
right. And that this,
And it's the same idea with the layoff. Are you
correct,
gonna- We're not gonna promote people and then shoot them, you know?
right.
I mean, layoffs is the next article, so we should address
That separately.
that there, yeah.
Well, yeah, but if we write in here, my issue is,
Can a
Yeah,
probationary employee be laid off?
right, a
potentially?
probationary lieutenant who we promoted from within.
Right.
And I don't believe that we should
It
be doing
seems
that.
a little, you
Yeah.
know, unfair a little bit.
You following? So the way this reads is, they're classified as a probationary employee for the first 365 days of continuous uninterrupted employment, during which time such employees may be laid off, disciplined, or discharged with or without cause. So now we have two problems, right? The layoff and discipline or discharge without cause.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's not good.
No,
Now I get it for a probationary new cop,
right,
right?
Right.
But not for a probationary lieutenant from inside who's already proven over 10, 15,
Right,
18
right.
years, hey, I'm capable of doing this
Right.
job, maybe I'm just not capable of being a lieutenant.
right. 'Cause
But
they're,
either way, that's cause. I mean,
I mean,
you can't do
Well-
the job, it's cause.
Well-
It's still not without cause.
technically it's not though, because if it's just the wrong role, it's
Right.
almost, you know, a little bit of the organization's fault for promoting that person.
Yeah.
Because they presumably went through interviews and
Right.
you know, right?
Yes.
So, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we need to, let's table that one for now,
Okay,
but I think we
yeah.
need to work
I
on
think
7.
that it's two separate issues, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of them, if you get promoted, you're a probationary lieutenant, if you will. If you don't work out, and you
You go
used
back
to
to-
be a sergeant.
They
you
just
go back
roll
to
you
being
back
a
to
You're
the
gonna
sergeant.
grab some of their sergeant and take your place.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
That's right.
And the
Yeah.
position, yeah, you're just kind of swapping.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe it's two different issues, the hired within and versus the
Yeah,
promoted?
Yes, I think,
Okay,
I would agree with you. If we broke
Okay.
that up into two separate paragraphs, it would probably be easier.
yeah. Yeah, and then, and it's a year of the probation on that promotion?
Yes,
Okay,
that's the way we've been doing it,
Okay.
yes.
okay.
So do we need to address here then, if we're doing that come off probation, go to what everybody else makes? Is it at a year? Is it on October 1st? Is
Yeah,
it?
because that's a topic, so.
Yes, I don't, again, I don't think that's this article, but yes, we'll need to talk about it
Okay.
in,
Because, yeah, because I told the IUPA, you know, with the same topic, you know, we're not gonna let the contract be silent anymore.
No, it can't
It's
be.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the guy does his year. Okay, I've successfully completed my year. In my opinion, at that point is when he should move to
That there should
whatever
be-
that full pay for that position is.
And then October, he just follows the rest.
Correct, and then in October, he just moves, correct.
Okay.
So we should, it would just be the completion of that 365, right? So like, our most junior lieutenant got promoted in January. So he won't move, he'll stay on whatever that probationary level is if we keep a probationary level in the contract for next year on October
Or
1.
he'd move if there was a COLA or something in
Right,
there.
but just to the probationary.
Correct.
And on January 2nd or whatever day he was promoted, then he would move to the full lieutenant grade. That's the way, I can tell you, because I was present, that's the way that it was presented by the city at the time they agreed to the one-time-a-year raises.
I see.
And it's on
Somehow
video,
it
it was
didn't-
very, it was very clearly,
I'm
I
gonna watch that
actually,
video because
I actually
he
thought.
Came down and said something different too.
Yeah, it came down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that the guys are going to move to that next year pay on October 1st, even though their anniversary may not be till September 30th? And the answer was unequivocally, yes, we are moving them up a year.
Yeah, and he came down and said, we're going to do it right, we're going to
Right.
do it now, but on the go forward, we're not. Was what, we're making people whole that work here now. But, and I have not listened to the tape.
Yeah,
but that was how he came down and presented it, was
It
now
may be the way
everybody's whole, and
presented
then
it.
October 1st, we're
That's
going to
not
go
the
back
way it was
to.
negotiated.
So
So,
either
and that's-
way, let's get it down
Yeah.
on paper.
Yeah,
so
I
we're
think we
all
do
on the
need to,
same
yeah,
page. Yep,
yeah.
because
And I
it's-
think the only,
it's
fair
goofy.
you don't make if a guy gets promoted, I don't know,
So let's say I get
August
promoted
1st.
August or October
right?
2nd.
He gets,
Okay.
well, let's do it, he gets
You got
promoted
it weird
October
whether you're on
2nd,
whichever side
right?
of it,
So
yeah.
now he's got to literally do a full year at probation, and
Right.
a full extra year at
Right.
probationary pay,
doesn't make
where a
sense.
guy that gets promoted on September 30th
Right. Has
gets
to
it
wait
the
10
first
minutes.
day.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah, it doesn't make
Yeah,
any
that doesn't make any, it's gotta be when they come off promotion, that's the only way it makes
It
sense.
does.
That's why we have the probationary pay
Yeah,
category.
right.
But we do need to at least codify in here that somebody over there has to initiate.
Yes.
The
Right.
PAF to do that, then
Right.
it came
Because
off.
we can't, we don't have systems that'll
Right, and
intuitively
I
figure that out
think that's
anymore.
been handled now. The way I understand it is, the PAFs at least have been addressed. at
Yeah,
this
but we'll still codify that.
Yes.
That has to be initiated.
That's
you know,
fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. And that is
It's
our
like, whose
responsibility.
job
You
is
guys
it?
don't
Because
know.
we don't want to go, hey.
Right.
When y'all say, hey, you missed it, they came off probation, we go.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they came off probation.
That's right.
Yeah, now I will tell you that when I do probationary employees and release them, it's not a PAF. There is absolutely a form that goes to the chief for him to sign whether he agrees with my
And we are having them attach a
determination.
PAF because the fact of them passing it and the next rate is
Right.
buried in page
And are you
3
guys,
or whatever.
are you, and this is a question, are you
Yes.
guys getting the employee evals or are they
Yeah, they're in
staying?
there.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. So, yeah, we're getting those and all that.
Okay, so
But we
that's,
shouldn't have to be reading and evaluating whether they get a raise based on that eval.
Right, because
I-
we gotta
I'm
go
not
to-
saying that
yeah.
it should, I'm just
We gotta
saying that the
find it
evidence
and-
is
yeah.
They are-
attached to.
It is, yep, so for
Yeah.
every personnel transition that we're doing at all,
We need to be
we're
doing
always,
PAF.
you know, putting it in Tyler, attaching
Right.
the PAF, so we know an employment action took place because of
Perfect.
this. So
That-
that's for auditing, for finding stuff when
Right.
we need it and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's on the administrative side of the PD, I agree
Yeah.
with you on that.
Yeah.
I just sat through like a list of 20 people from the auditors, and they wanted all the history of the pay change, or
Yep.
any pay change over the last year and the documentation for it. So I mean, they go through these every year, both through the pension audit and the regular city audit.
So I feel like we're doing a lot better job of, you know, documenting that stuff at the time, in their file, when it took place. You know,
Right.
For you guys, because I know your accreditation bodies are very diligent as well, so.
I get to do that Tuesday.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll both kind of propose some counter language to fix that for Article 7.
Sounds good?
All right, the rest of it, I didn't see any problem there, but I think again, it's talking about, On 7.3, just kind of reread that, make sure it's pertaining to both situations. So, and then if you look at 7.4, it says we can extend that probationary period in lieu of discharging the employee. What about in lieu of, you know, disciplining the employee, or in lieu,
Well, or
you know,
just-
is it just a
Just
matter of?
take off the in lieu of, we can extend the
Just extend
probationary
the
period for
Yeah,
up to
yeah.
180 days.
Okay. Decision shall not be subject to the grievance and/or arbitration procedures of this agreement. That's
You good with
fine.
that? Yeah.
If we strike that little language there.
Yeah, so all we're doing is striking out the 180 days. We'll just put a period after that instead of in lieu of discharging the employee, because we don't want to apply to an already hired employee. So yeah, we're gonna have to work on hiring from outside versus promoting from within. That's all.
I mean, realistically,
It's not gonna happen. I know.
I can only think of one agency that ever hired lieutenants from outside.
Yeah, I mean,
When
I
you're
can't
having to
imagine
do
this.
that,
Yeah,
it means you're in trouble.
you're in trouble. Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
guess
that-
unless there was some weird
Yeah.
specialized new thing,
Yeah, like-
something that you got the
Well-
guy for.
Nothing's
Spider-Man
I
changed.
know.
lieutenant or something. So
Make stuff up.
that's why it stuck out to me, because it's weird that it was only talking about the outside
Yeah,
scenario.
that's
It's
interesting.
just odd, you know. Okay, so Article 8, seniority, I had no questions or issues.
No? Yeah, and 8.7 is that one where the whole reduction in force or layoffs, where they roll
But-
back to sergeants. That's the protection the lieutenants have.
Okay. However, what about the probationary employee? Is that true for them too? So I'm hired from outside,
Right.
unlikely, right? Hired from outside, there's a reduction in force. Do I get to be a sergeant now, or am I out?
Or do you potentially have the opportunity?
Yeah, and it would always be the probationary lieutenant who gets bumped back to sergeant, because he'd be the one with the lowest seniority among the lieutenants.
Right, but the argument is, well, yeah, because we do it by seniority,
You're gonna
so it
bump
wouldn't
everybody-
matter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just gonna go roll downhill.
yeah, it's just gonna roll
But is he
down.
entitled to take a sergeant
To take a
position?
sergeant spot at that point?
Yeah, that's the question.
I think, if I'm being honest, that's a city decision to make. It's not really my call. I would, of course, want to protect my guy and say, yes, he's entitled to roll down
That's the
too.
standard procedure everywhere, but
Okay,
thank God I've
And your
never
last
seen
sergeant's
anybody.
Yeah.
gonna be the one that rolls
Back
down
into
his
an
hill.
officer role,
okay,
correct.
all right, I can live with that.
If we're cutting back workforce, he may be happy because now he's getting much overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, he'd be happy. This year, he would be for sure.
Article 9, Bill of Rights, I had no issue. 9.4 remains observed, or reserved,
Okay.
yeah.
Article 10's another reserve.
Okay, training, tuition reimbursement, no issues. Just a clerical on page 19, 11.7, just, you know,
Yeah, just,
formatting. All right, so, Article 12, so I'm struggling with it a little bit,
Okay.
for a couple of reasons. One, let's see here. 12.2 is a little awkward. We're basically saying, before you discharge them, you need to notify them, right?
Well, no, what the purpose of that pursuant to civil service rules
Uh-huh.
is you're talking about a Loudermill hearing, and that's
Yep.
just a big federal case that says, before you
Before you terminate.
fire somebody
Yeah.
or, do a serious discipline, you gotta give them a chance to present whatever they wanna
Yeah.
present to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we need the language pursuant to civil service rules, because they'd be using the grievance procedure,
Right,
if they
Right.
needed to. But to present their position in a Loudermill hearing. I can tell you, like Daytona Beach, their version of a Loudermill hearing is, here's what we're gonna give you for discipline. You've got 10 days to file a written thing if you want us to consider anything else
uh-huh.
before we make it final.
Ours is kind of similar, right? They have a right to due process,
Yeah.
Loudermill, of course, but
Yep.
before we take the action.
Right.
So to me, this language is just a, you know, without pay for disciplinary reasons. The notification described in 12.2, in section 12.1.
So like I said.
And I don't like articles referring to other articles. I don't like it at all. So, I mean, to me, it's like, before the employee is discharged or suspended without pay for disciplinary reasons, okay, notification, not described in 12.1, will be provided to the employee in advance of the action so as to give the affected employee an opportunity to present his position, period.
Yep, and you don't need the pursuit
No.
of the civil service rules.
No, so,
Yeah, so you're basically giving them notice, here's why we're
Here's what-
disciplining
yep.
you, and you have an opportunity, if you want us
Yep.
to hear what you have to say, to
mhm,
do it.
Yep.
Pretty good, we're talking lieutenants who never get in trouble.
Right,
And-
that's right.
And generally, we have that discipline review board, which would fulfill exactly that. So
For-
generally, if we have sustained IAs,
oh, yeah, yeah.
then
it's
they go
going
to a
before-
command review board. And that's
Correct.
where they can present whatever they want. So
Yeah.
they're having the hearing.
Yeah, so their rights are being protected.
Correct.
But the article just feels a little clumsy to me, so I was saying,
I agree with
yeah.
striking that yellow pursuant to
Yeah.
civil service rules, because
Are you okay with striking the described in section 12.1? I
Yeah,
don't see
'cause-
why that needs to be in there.
It doesn't, it's just making it clumsy.
that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
It's repetitive.
It is, yeah.
Okay. And that's all you were striking on that one,
Mhm.
right? Okay.
So then I'm looking at 12.1, right, and it says, in an
Mhm.
event an employee is discharged, suspended, or demoted, okay, the city agrees he shall be provided with written notification of the action. So it sounds like it's already done before they get the written notification. Is
city's-
suspended, is discharged, suspended, or,
Oh, before they have
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
10 days?
in the event they've already been discharged, is kind of how I'm reading it. So, before
I think the-
proceeding, isn't that what we're trying to say?
Well, no, I
or
think the city
before?
has at that point decided, hey, we're going to discharge you.
But they
But
haven't,
before they-
this implies they've taken the action already.
Yeah,
You know,
'Cause
in,
that's not even
in
saying
it, yeah.
extraordinary.
Yeah, in advance of an employee discharge, suspension,
Right, I think, yeah,
demotion.
12.1 is like a normal, we're firing you, and 12.2 is, oh, I gotta fire you right now. I think that's
Really?
how
Right.
it's designed.
Thank you.
Right.
Right.
So, you know, meaning every time we decide, okay, we need to suspend this guy, all right, do we take the action and then notify the employer, or do we say, hey, employee, we're about to do this action? Because
I mean,
it's reading like a
way
past
we're-
tense in
The way we're
12.1.
doing it, when they get done with the IA, if it's
Okay.
a sustained allegation,
Mhm.
they come up with, hey, we're going to suspend you. They
Right.
give them a written notice of intent to
Right,
suspend.
yes.
And then
Here-
that triggers that grievance process. If they don't file the
Right.
grievance, then the suspension occurs. That's the way we're doing it in practice.
So this reads like it's already a done deal and it's already taken place. So,
Well,
One does,
12.1
Yeah.
does.
yeah.
Says
Right.
discharged, ED, like in the past, suspended, ED, in the past. So to me, it should say something like, in advance of a discharge, suspension, or demotion.
but again, I think it actually has occurred,
well,
right? We're going to suspend you. We have
Right.
made that decision
well,
as a
Yes.
city.
yeah, but here's the problem. In theory, under Loudermill, you've got to have a right before a final decision is made. And so what you have to say, the employer has to say is, we're considering giving you this
It's the
punishment.
intent
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
You know,
discharge,
right now,
suspend,
we
or
think we
demote.
want to give you a
Correct.
week off, but would you like to tell us anything before we make a final decision? So she's right that 12.1, plus the
But-
last part of it going, you're not going to discipline anybody except upon sustained findings. Well, duh.
Right,
No doubt,
we're already
right.
in a just cause,
But
so
here-
is 12.1 even
But
necessary?
again, the way we do it in practice,
Yeah,
we conduct the IA investigation,
Okay,
then it gets turned over, it goes to the command review board, which is your Loudermill here.
okay.
Then we make the decision to do the suspension. It's after the command review board,
oh.
in most cases.
And
Then we make the decision to make the suspension.
Okay.
Then they are served with the written intent to suspend. And where that comes in is not so much in the disciplinary decision, but in whether or not they want to grieve it. You following?
Yeah,
So that's, it is in fact, in my mind, the decision has been made at that point. It's just, we don't actually put it in practice until we give it to you in writing and start that clock for the grievance.
so to me,
Is
this is
everybody
all
following?
very inaccurate, and we need to rewrite it exactly what you just said.
Okay.
Right? Because if I were a new employee reading this, I would not understand the process and the order of this.
Right.
So I
That
think it's
sounds
just
like
sort
as
of,
I'm walking out the door, you're handing me a piece of
yeah,
paper.
it totally does. So to me, let's rewrite it, the
I'm
whole
fine.
thing, because it's terrible.
I'm fine with that, so we'll
Okay.
table 12 for now.
Yeah,
I'll come up with some.
yeah.
But-
The other
but-
thing I have a real problem with is number 12.4, okay? It says, so think of it in terms of chronological order. Disciplinary except termination or emergency suspension is detailed in blah, 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 okay, which doesn't make any sense itself, shall not become effective until such time as the employee has exhausted the grievance process through step 4. So I can't write you up until you've had the chance to grieve us before I issue you the discipline?
No, what it's really saying is, and it really only applies to suspensions.
Okay.
So you accept termination and emergency suspension. And what it says is, the process should work, let's say somebody did something worthy of being suspended.
Okay,
Okay, they do an IA, they come up with the conclusions in the IA. Then they get their, I'm gonna call it the Loudermill hearing, which is the Command Review Board.
yeah.
And at the
And
Command
I'm
Review Board,
happy
the
to
only
even
thing
put
that I would.
Laudermill Command Review Board in there.
Well, the Command Review Board is
The
essentially a
Laudermill, yeah.
Loudermill hearing.
Yeah,
Okay, and then after that, the agency says, we're gonna give you a week off, okay? They give you a week off, now, because the discipline is final at this point, you can grieve it. The point of not making them serve the suspension before they're done with the grievance process is, let's say you give them a 2-week suspension.
okay,
They serve a 2-week suspension, and then a month later, they win their grievance at arbitration. Now you just gave them a 2-week paid holiday, is what you did.
well,
So-
that's the city's problem, you better have had a better case.
Yeah, but most places, what they'll do is they'll go, we'll wait to make sure you either, if you don't file a grievance, then you're serving it. If
Okay.
you do file a grievance, we'll wait till the arbitrator or whatever decides whether you deserve it or not.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
Yeah,
So
they.
that you don't get into the paying back a
Right.
holiday.
And
Yeah, so you
and
don't
it-
get them back
situation.
to paying them back, reimbursing them for 2 weeks of pay.
So let's say it was
And
like
it
a,
exempts,
working, I guess,
and
while
it
they're-
exempts termination or
Yeah.
emergency suspensions.
okay,
So, if I've done something so egregious that you either need to fire me or suspend me immediately, that's exempted from this.
okay, okay.
So-
So I feel
Yeah,
like,
it only applies to suspensions, is the
Okay.
bottom line.
Right.
so I feel like that explanation was so good, right? So I think we need to rewrite that whole scenario, because to me, this suggests that, wait a minute, I can't even write this guy up with a first level without waiting, 6 months for the, kind of thing.
Well,
So,
okay, so part of that is the
It's
police officer
unclear
bill of rights
language.
thing kicking in, right?
yeah,
Because we can't.
Not really, and I can change the language so that it says, okay, whenever a suspension is decided upon discipline,
Yes.
the suspension won't be served until the grievance process is exhausted.
yes, that's a
then it
different
makes
statement
it-
than not become
makes it
effective,
so much
right?
more
Won't be
understandable.
served, yeah.
But
But
you
what
s-
about in the
You
case
still
of one of
need to
those
exempt the
terminations?
termination
Yeah,
and
an
emergency
exemption.
suspensions.
No, because all this is going to say is, if the discipline issued is a suspension, so this is the
Oh,
only time it
emergency or
applies,
not, okay, uh-huh.
the suspension won't be served until the grievance process is exhausted.
My only
That
problem with
becomes a
that,
problem when I need to emergency suspend somebody.
so let's take the
Right,
case
if
of,
Yeah,
my,
yeah,
if my
yeah.
sergeant beats up one of my officers and I
Right.
need to suspend him right now, then this.
He can't
then
go grieve it
I-
and keep working.
Correct.
And again, I don't recall
Okay.
whether you've got a definition of emergency suspension, but yes, I can make sure that the language
That-
clearly
yeah.
excludes that.
And we do,
there's
but
a-
it's in
There's
the
a big
departmental
difference
code.
between an emergency suspension
Right.
and a
Regular.
suspension is gonna be the punishment we give
Correct,
you.
there,
Yeah,
and that,
yeah.
yeah, and that's, I think what this is trying to say
Yeah.
is that there is a big difference between an emergency suspension
I think so,
and one
yeah.
based on just cause or
So
however you
I'd
wanna
love to
argue
see
it.
us spend the time and really lay
Okay.
that out clearly,
So
because as a layperson just stepping in it, it made no
Yeah.
sense to me.
So we'll table that one for
And then
now.
as a over 50 crabby HR director, it made even less.
Trust me,
Okay.
it's when these employees that have never read a legal document in their life read it and they
Encounter
go,
that.
this means this.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, so.
No, not so much,
I'm always
yeah.
a very big fan of a plain English written, absolutely clear contract that even the dimmest person can figure out what it means. Or
I'm
that-
down, but we
no
we
arbitrators
inevitably
can.
miss
Lawyers out of work.
sometimes.
Yeah, but
We
I'd rather
inevitably
miss a little than a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, good, so we'll agree to collaborate on that one. Leave of absence, page 21, Article 13. I probably mentioned this before, I'm gonna be revamping some of these, policies, and some of the numbers may change and some of this kind of thing. So I felt like the language of 13.1 where it says as amended from time to time, that's not amended by the city or by the union, it's amended by
Federal law.
the federal law, and it hasn't been amended since 1991, really, other than recent changes that basically made it, looser rather than tighter. And then in accordance with city policy, I would just like to leave that plain, that generic language of city policy or city FMLA policy. If you guys have no issue with that.
You got an issue with that? I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
You can't
Doesn't
make
matter
it
what the
worse than
policy
federal
number
law,
is.
but
Yeah.
somewhere in there, somebody can be generous and decide to pay
Mhm.
people, and you
Now-
don't have to rewrite this.
This it doesn't include all of the types of leave either. So there's a non-FMLA leave of absence, for example, for those who are not eligible for FMLA yet because they've only worked here less than a year.
Or it's a non-qualified
Or it's a
person.
non-qualifying person, so I need to be out for my aunt. Her aunt is not covered on FMLA. So I wouldn't mind adding whatever, kinds of ones that we could have. Does that talk about?
I don't know that you need to,
We don't need
because
to?
basically this says we're gonna comply with FMLA and we're gonna
Mhm.
comply with city policy.
Okay. And so there's a little difference in terms of benefit payments in those scenarios. So FMLA requires the employer to pay the employer and the employee amount during the leave of absence. However, an unpaid leave of absence that is non-FMLA, we are permitted to charge the employer contribution during that time. We're actually.
Employee.
Yeah, so the
Okay.
amount that you usually pay out of your check, right?
Right.
So if they're on an unpaid leave of absence, they do have to come in and pay the benefit, because if they don't, it'll shut them off. So that's,
Is that how it's been working?
yes.
So you're just putting that in there?
Yes,
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
the
because
clear
it's one of
13
things
killer is.
that's done and I'm looking for it and it's not in there,
And
So
we're actually issuing invoices now to
Yeah.
people that fall into any of those categories, so there's
Yeah.
no
That's a good
question
thing.
of
It
what
is a
they
good
owe.
thing, because before it was just,
Yeah.
tribal knowledge about whether they knew to do it or not. So now we're getting that, so they actually get an invoice, they know, oh, okay, this is the amount. In the case of military leave, for example, sometimes the spouse is taking care of those matters, and so to be able to send an invoice is a lot more, communicative.
So for my edification, because I don't know, so if they're on military leave, they need to pay
If they want to, so.
if they want to keep their benefits
Correct.
active.
Some of them don't because they're covered by the military piece, right?
Okay.
But there's other times where the military piece will cover the employee, but not dependents for things like dental and vision.
Okay.
It's
And
like
let me
we're
go way,
continuing
let me go
that
way
right
out
now.
in the weeds on
Uh-huh.
the insurance on this. So let's say they get back and they're outside
Uh-huh.
the enrollment period. Is that a special enrollment
It
for
is a
them?
special
Okay, so
enrollment,
when
yep.
they get back,
So
it's
they
a
can,
special enrollment.
uh-huh.
Okay.
I am curious, is the amount of people going on in military service time gone down in the last few years?
We've only ever had one or two
Yeah,
from
we've
here.
had,
There's not
yeah.
There's one
We
that's
have
permanent elderhood.
one right now and another who may be going. So it's
Yeah.
not,
So it's not a huge number,
But
No.
training doesn't
I feel like
affect
it's
them.
been loosey-goosey to manage that piece for them, and so I want to make sure language is clear so they know what to expect and tell their family.
yeah, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, so,
We'd chase that one around.
mhm. yep,
to try and help them continue.
Mhm.
that's exactly right, so.
Want to help them.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
said,
we
that's,
really
that's
do,
a nice
yeah.
addition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's, I wanted to make sure we get that.
Yeah.
Article 14, the grievance procedure. Now that I understand that with that suspension piece, I want to make sure that language is consistent from there to here.
All right, so you just wanna, we'll table that for
Yeah,
now?
yep, so we'll just have to make sure we're happy with that, you know. Okay, are we on a 50-50 with arbitration, or what are we, winner, loser, what are we?
I think we're 50/50.
Okay, I think so too.
I swear I read
Yep,
that.
yep, it's in, the step 4, it's toward the bottom of page 24. Each party shall bear the expense of its own witnesses and own representatives, the impartial arbitrator's fees and really are blah, 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 equally divided. Okay, good.
One thing that I've suggested in a lot of contracts, and this is me being, I look and I go, you can have a 7-month-long jury trial with 8 million documents and witnesses, and at the end of it, the attorneys stand up and they make closing arguments to the jury.
Right.
Most of these arbitrations, they're a day long at most. Everybody knows how they would rule. These arbitrators, they've all done it a million times.
Before they even listen.
Before they, yeah, I mean, and just like if you were a juror, you know how you're gonna rule before the judge reads you. What I like to try to add is say, look, I've added language to a lot of the other contracts saying that the attorneys will give verbal closing arguments at the hearing, and if they want to provide case law later to the arbitrator, they can. What that does, and I'm going to be brutally honest here, is I'm salary. The ones where we'd have to do written briefs, we wait 3 weeks for the transcripts that now cost thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Then we write a 50-page brief. The arbitrator bills us all for reading their 50 pages and my 50 pages.
I think I'm gonna be an arbitrator.
Yeah, and, you know, like I said, most of the cities, they hire outside private counsel to bill them for the hour for writing a 50-page brief. And so I like, and I can give you proposed language from other contracts where
That'd
we
be
go,
great.
we'll do closing arguments at the arbitration.
I like that, and I'll propose that. I'm sure our legal will take a look at that, and we'll, you know, like they may agree or not, but I'm happy to propose it to them. I think it's a good idea.
You're right, though, I want that
Yeah.
as my second job.
Yeah, it's like, where do you sign up for that?
You
like a referee.
read some of them, a lot of them, they were big shots on both sides and, you know, big,
Really?
either corporations or labor, but you'd be amazed at how many of these people, they've got a degree in theology.
I've seen that.
And they're all over 80 years old
Oh,
for
yeah.
the most part.
Yep,
In fact, you remember Wayne Helsman.
yep,
Okay?
I love
I
Wayne.
even offered Wayne to be, we had a case that was gonna go to arbitration in Fernandina Beach, and I respected Wayne immensely. I go,
Oh, yeah.
Wayne, you wanna be the arbitrator, but here's the deal. You're gonna hear the case and give us a decision
That day.
in a week, within
Oh,
a
in a
week.
week, yeah.
Yeah. And Wayne's like, yeah, I'm up for it. And I wanted, I mean, win or lose, you would get a decision, because it was a case where the chief, he took 2 senior lieutenants and switched them, one on days, one on nights, and they're supposed to be able to bid for shifts. Well, I go, Wayne will do it, and we'll get it done in 3 weeks. Win or lose, you'll have your answer.
Yeah.
And my client didn't trust me, no. So fine, we go through the regular process. Well, the regular process, the arbitration is set for 9 months out. Well, 6 months, they rotate back to where they were at anyway. So I'm like, I'm glad you got what you wanted. but-
Wow, that's something.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, yeah, and he would have been a very fair one. Yeah, yeah.
I had tremendous respect for
Oh,
him.
yeah, yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, he's a great guy.
So I will give you some proposed language on that.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a great idea, so. Okay, good. Yeah, because really, that's, you know, when it's so far out, it's unfair to the employee as well. All right, good. Holidays, I've just changed from the MOU to our changed to 13. No other
Is it
changes.
gonna always be the day after Christmas, or I thought it was supposed to be,
Gonna move?
A designated day or something.
I thought it was that designated day where they could pick it before or after, depending on where it fell.
Nope. So for police, chief,
Uh-huh.
it gives them some discretion to move it if it's, you know, so we could add that other piece that's in there.
I do have one suggestion, and
Uh-huh.
Atlantic Beach gets credit for this. They go, look, we're tired, it was when we added Martin Luther King Day.
Mm-hmm.
They just added language that says the following holidays are observed, and then the last one was any other holiday that the city council approves.
Oh.
Because
I
if
like
you
that.
guys
That's
approve
what
it.
I thought it was gonna
Yeah.
be.
That way we
Yeah.
don't have to do an MOU for it.
Okay.
Exactly, and we never, and we're never gonna say no to a free day.
Well,
Y'all didn't
speak for
fight the
yourself
last
now. I'll be here.
Okay. Overtime. I like that, that's great. We'll add that in there. See, Greg's here to help us make it
Mhm.
easier. All right, Article 16, annual leave.
Are we good on, Melissa, on their learning and birthdays are on the right one?
Yes.
This is where we like it, okay.
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 I just removed that clerical.
So, yeah, so we got, this is one of the articles I need to talk about.
Okay,
And it's not truly annual leave. We moved it to annual leave to make it easier on the city to manage. So the lieutenants get 39 hours of admin time per year.
okay.
It was difficult for them to manage and apply because it was like every 2 weeks you got so many hours that they added on. So John asked at the time, hey, can we just add it to your total annual leave?
Okay,
Here, we were like, sure, great, no problem, we did that. But it becomes an issue because the tier 2 guys, who I now have a lieutenant who's tier 2, is capped at 100 hours of annual leave.
I see.
So really, as of right now, he is not getting a benefit he should be
But we're
for the
talking about
admin
changing all
time.
those caps, I know in IUPA, aren't
Didn't
we?
we-
Yeah, I know we are, and so, yes, so I think there's a strong possibility, I'm guessing from hints I got, that there's a strong possibility that we're gonna change the accruals anyway. However, if we don't, if we end up not changing the accruals, then it's 16.3B that becomes important, because he's still capped at 100, and it needs to be 139
So-
for him to get the same benefit as the other lieutenants.
So we're good in 15, if in theory we were thinking about changing those accruals?
If the accrual rates match for both tier 1 and tier 2,
15
we
can go
would
that
be
way.
good.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a dumb question, and excuse me for asking it. So let's say I'm an IUPA sergeant today.
Yep,
And tomorrow I'm a lieutenant in PBA.
correct.
Can you imagine
Okay.
that happening?
I can't.
Is there still, does the tier 2 quote exist, or is this
No,
the
it still
benefit
exists.
negotiated for the PBA lieutenants?
Oh.
Period.
That solved that problem.
I'm fine with that. Then we would strike then
And we'd strike that.
16.3
that B.
entirely.
Yeah, because why didn't it morph when you went into that new status?
Which is interesting. Okay.
Is it because of the pension piece?
It's not because of the pension piece, it's because their accruals are lower than the tier 1 accruals.
But I'm not that guy anymore,
Yes.
right?
You're still tier 2, you're still hired
It
after.
still has a higher
But for
date.
pension purposes, that's important, but why is that important when I go into a new job?
It's
and a
not
promotion
important to me, I'm
strike
100% down with striking
16.3.
16.3.
Okay.
In
I'm
fact,
just
that would,
curious why it wasn't
that would help
way.
him, and then we're gonna have to figure out offline, not during the meeting, how we're gonna make him right for this year. Because
Yeah, if we
he's
agree to
currently
that,
a
yeah.
lieutenant and not getting, I understand he shouldn't get the full 39, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's October 1 to September 30, but we need to fix him,
But
and
I-
give him the
yeah.
time.
I mean, I would suggest,
proportional to
upon
his time as a
ratification, he would
lieutenant.
just transform into that and,
Well, that's fine, but
It's a piece of
currently
learning
he's
and
under
yeah,
this
right.
contract. He's
Right.
currently working under
Right.
this, so we gotta make him
contract
right for
says
this contract.
goofiness, though. It
Right.
says nothing about the tier two. So in
Right.
this contract, he's still a 100-person.
Correct.
Because we have it in there. In my
Correct.
mind, upon ratification of a new contract, he'd just morph into that other, and that's the end of the story.
Perfectly fine with that, but we need to make them right for this year.
This contract suggests we do not. Not to be a jerk.
Well, okay, but let me counter, right?
Okay, yeah,
Because everybody I had was tier one, we accepted moving the hours, their administrative hours, just adding them to our annual leave because we weren't
oh,
capped.
I see.
Right?
Yep.
These are not annual leave hours, they are administrative hours that he should be earning as a lieutenant and currently cannot,
If he's that new person, yeah.
if he's tier two.
Yeah.
And they used to get those hours separately
Correct.
prior to.
Correct. And the only reason we changed them was at the request of the city because it made it easier for the city to manage. You following? We would have kept the admin hours.
Yeah,
It's
but
kind of
the
like
ci-
a floating and birthday that they
Right.
do.
The
It's like
city
a-
asked,
the lump of
hey,
hours that they
can we just do
Okay.
this in one lump sum? I didn't have a tier two
Gotcha.
lieutenant at that point, so there was no reason to change.
so,
That
yeah, because
100.
the pension date-driven thing, to
Right.
me, is different than some of these other issues.
It would be if it wasn't in the contract, I would agree with you.
Right.
But
So
that
if-
was there before, and again,
Yeah.
I wasn't negotiating for any tier two guys at that point, so I didn't care
Right.
if it was there or not.
Right, so my answer to that would be to strike that, and then we figure out how to get him right-sized. Yeah.
I'm 100% fine with that, so the
I know
idea
we
would
need
be to
think
strike
about that a little more. Maybe it's something we're
16.3.
gonna- Yeah,
We'd strike 16.3,
Mm-hmm.
so he would just move and he would get, now, we're gonna have to work on the higher dates above that then, because there is dates above 16.3
what do you
that we're
mean?
gonna have to clean up. So the accrual for current part-time, or full-time employees hired before
Mm-hmm. 2011,
we're gonna have to strike that language, right?
Yep. Yeah,
follow?
so,
That's what I did, though.
Well, no, you did, but we're still gonna have to adjust the tier one dates. Because
So-
if he's gonna be eligible, we can't have he was hired before
Right.
2011 because he wasn't.
oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
that-
necessary. None of that
Right,
is
all of
necessary.
that would then not be
The-
necessary, it would just
right.
be,
It's just-
if
just
you're
the
80
84
hours
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
84 hours would all you would, is all you would need to have listed.
Yeah, I mean, that, because I don't think that, was that tier two thing, negotiated as part of IUPA? Or was that a PBA,
Oh,
thou
in
shalt
here?
have two tiers? Or was it merely a pension situation?
There wasn't anybody in it, so I think they just kind of skimmed past this section because it
Okay.
didn't
Yeah,
apply to
it didn't
anybody.
apply to
Yeah, because
anybody.
that'd be like me, you know, I'm a HR director today, and I'm gonna go be the city manager tomorrow,
Right,
but the terms and conditions are stay the same as what you had before. That's not necessarily true on all matters.
correct, and I
That's what
think
I'm
that's
seeing here.
probably how it was originally written into the contract, is that it does stay the same.
Yeah.
No matter what your position is, but
That's
if
how I'm
we're
reading
willing to do, hey, we're two separate negotiating bodies and we could have two separate rules, 100% fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to get all the legal eagles on
Yeah,
the same page
yeah, because
there, but.
there's no pension encumbrance on it,
No,
because,
there's not, is there?
no, because that higher date
It's just
remains in
how much they
effect.
accrue and how
Yeah.
much
Yes.
they
Yeah.
can hold and how much they can get paid out, notwithstanding
Not-
the pensionability.
Correct.
Okay,
And I'm all for like not
Streamlining
taking,
the-
not
yeah,
everybody
streamlining.
showing up sick and on vacation right
Mhm.
before the date
So they
and
don't-
pay it out
they get
before
that.
it
Mhm.
gets
Mhm.
paid out at a higher rate,
Yeah.
possibly less money now,
Mhm.
but they're.
yeah, so, you know, 16.2 kind of says this applies to the people hired before, then 16.3 is kind of saying.
This is,
for the-
right.
yeah.
So if we struck 16.3 and
Yeah.
removed the dates from 16.2,
Yeah.
we would accomplish what we want to.
I think that's what the path makes sense.
You-
Yeah.
Yeah?
I drafted
Yes, you
something along
did. That is
line.
correct. Yes,
Yeah,
you did.
So, you know,
That's correct.
can we say something notwithstanding pension eligibility rules or something, so we,
I don't care. We know that it's not pensionable because that's
Yeah.
a state statute.
okay.
So if
Okay,
they were
so
hired
that's-
after
Uh-huh.
2011,
Yeah,
it is not pensionable.
okay.
So in 16.2E,
Mhm.
if you bomb out on your probation, we don't pay you your accrued leave?
Interesting. Good catch.
Wow. She's sharp with this stuff, I tell you.
Yeah, I think
It is,
as
yeah.
as defined in 7-1, which is the guy who's an outside hire.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't say that one way or the other. It
Yeah, it
just-
does
No, it
not.
does, yeah.
See, and this is exactly
Should a new
why I don't
employee
like this
defined in
referring to-
7-1.
Yeah, see, I don't like
Yeah.
this referring back crap. It's gotta say what it is right there.
Oh, yeah.
But
You
the
see what I'm
point is-
saying?
But why would
Because
we still not
7-1
pay you
Yeah,
your
why would we
accrued
I
not
have,
do
wages?
that?
I have no idea why we
You
would
know,
do that.
Yeah, it's like, you're
It's
right.
not really a worry for lieutenants because we don't have brand new hires.
But you
Right.
weren't able
as
to take
lieutenants.
it, why
I
are
know.
we not paying you?
Yeah,
what
we-
you
And
we
your
should
little
be
dog
paying-
too, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, hey, you want to strike that? I'm perfectly good with
Yes,
striking
we
E.
wanna strike that.
Okay.
It's punitive and
It's
stupid.
probably not gonna happen,
Good
but
lord.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that. We'll strike E.
Yeesh.
And then make the adjustments in
Yeah.
16-2.
Yep,
Okay.
okay.
I'm 100% good with that, and I'm sure he will be too.
Are we okay with the September 1 dates here, guys? On
That's
F?
that's a you guys thing.
I think we had a note that to change about
We
the
don't
first
want it-
full pay period.
yeah, we don't want it to say September 15th, we want it to say like first
Yeah,
full pay
first full
period.
pay period. Okay.
Now, where's that? No,
F.
I'm not seeing it.
16. So it's the way we've been doing it the last couple of years.
Yeah.
We calculate it as of the 1st of September, we pay it
Yeah.
on the first pay period, and that gives us a pay period in case
Yeah,
there's anything messed up to fix
Yeah, I
it.
think we talked about this last time.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's,
I'd like to mess around
yeah,
with
there's
that a little
no-
bit. Okay.
you're not gonna get any fight on
Do we
that.
need to address
Uh-huh.
in here who is, that you have to put it in, that they have to put it in, Tyler, and request it?
Yes,
We were doing
so,
that for IUPA.
yes, yeah, so one of the issues that
nothing
we
bad.
have is, we have people, you know, presuming that we have our crystal ball when they want to pay out, right? And that we're magically supposed to know
Or
to
you're
pay it
over
out.
320 and Tyler automatically will pay it out?
No, right, so, you know, we want them to express their desire to have a payout, not just
To
guess
go look
that.
and see what their balance
Yes.
is and request it.
Forgive me if I'm being too simple. We get the, hey, if you want to sell back email every year,
Yeah,
and
we
people
still get this
aren't
crap.
doing it.
Yep, correct.
No, they do
Okay.
do it. They're good about doing it. That's when we send them the email.
Yeah,
But we then double check and make sure if they're over that they
Right.
didn't forget to go look.
tell
But
us,
we don't
yeah.
want to have to go crazy
There's always
on
a
it.
few clunkers that forget or
Right.
ignore the stuff.
And even so,
They don't
even
know
though
the
we're
balance.
checking
Yeah.
it,
yeah.
Yeah,
if they're not putting it in, we have to go put it in for everybody.
Yeah.
For them, right,
is-
which you
And
should.
we don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing though is,
Nitpick if they get
it-
0.2
right,
hours
0.2
missing.
hours or
And
0.3
none of it, yeah, we
hours.
stopped
But if
the
it's on
nitpicking
you,
part.
then
Right,
right.
that's
completely,
what you did.
completely understand.
We're gonna get kicked out of this room because there's a 4 o'clock, I just saw somebody
Oh.
lurking by,
That
but,
was Adam.
that was Adam?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we're gonna get kicked out here,
Okay.
but, so if you wouldn't mind, we stop here at Article 17,
Sure.
okay? And then, when do we wanna schedule for next time? I'm having a lot of fun, so, we're making.
That's right, you-
You guys know me, I'm,
Because we're doing good work and I like that.
Let's
Mon-
stop here
Monday.
and declare an emergency. What a good place.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because this one,
we're all
this is a
getting
good place to
along.
stop
It
because I
is.
think this one will be a little
It
contentious.
will,
so.
yeah. Okay. All right, yeah, what's your schedule looking like?
I'm pretty open when you want to meet.
I'm good to go, Monday to Friday. I'm good, whenever you want.
Is Monday a holiday for you guys?
No,
Yeah,
although
we have
we've
a
had
break for
employees try to
holidays for
take
a
that
while.
off, but
Yeah.
That was that one where they didn't show up that one
Yes.
year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In Public Works?
we had a bunch of
for
people.
President's Day, they
Yeah,
didn't
just
show?
one guy was
Some
like, oh
cities have
yeah,
it
we're
off
off,
and some
and the funny part was that guy came to work, so.
Wow.
But, what is today, Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday.
Same time, same channel next week? We just keep on it and get
I'm
it
fine
done?
with that.
You have
Is
IUPA.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, you
at
guys
that
do have
time?
a, you put at one
Okay.
point next week.
yeah,
I thought-
Wednesday, anytime
Oh.
Monday or Tuesday is fine, Wednesday,
A little dicey? How about that next week after it?
yeah, any day. The week
Wanna
of
do
February
Wednesday that?
25th.
2 Wednesdays from now?
Yeah. Time, is this time of day
That's the
convenient?
25th.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
the
fine.
25th is when
So
I
if you
would,
do
so
it-
next week
Because
probably.
we can
Oh,
do it in
next
your
week,
conference
you can do
room
the 18th,
instead of
next
coming
Monday,
into.
18th.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Kristen does
Oh.
a 4 o'clock here every Wednesday.
Oh,
I just
okay.
know
Because that's what
Is that
that
one
they
of
close
the-
it.
How about, what time are we on?
Okay, yeah, so then, yeah, Wednesdays at 3 probably ain't good.
We're just not
How
up
about
here.
Thursday,
Right.
how about Thursday the 19th?
Thursday, the 19th?
Next
Anytime in
Thursday.
the afternoon.
Yeah, the only thing I got next week that I cannot miss is the accreditation interview, but that's 2 o'clock on Tuesday. As
Okay.
long as that's clear.
So how about Thursday, the 19th at, what time did we do this? 3? Is that a good time?
Yeah, 2 or 3, whatever's best for you,
Yeah,
3.
two, I might be cutting it close.
Okay,
Okay.
3 it is.
Great. All right. We'll go off the record now, so
All right.
good job, everybody.
Stop.
I don't know how to do it.
Oh, okay, there's a small button somewhere.
I know how to unplug it, if I'm plugging it to it.
No. Let's see here.